Namaste everyone, welcome in this series where we are trying to understand sustainability in a holistic manner with 20 key concepts. And this is a video 4, session 4, where today we will understand climate change and how it relates to businesses and why should we care about it. So let's start. First thing is very important, we should be aware about why we want to understand these concepts, what is there. Big why. Okay, so first thing, so what is climate change? So climate change is a significant sustainability issue caused primarily by human activities, particularly the emissions of greenhouse gases. So you might know that greenhouse gases, and majority of them, let's say a representative, we can say carbon dioxide. The level of carbon dioxide has risen tremendously through last 200 years. And that's how the global temperature is also increasing. We are somewhere at 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial temperature level, and which is a serious concern. In your day-to-day interaction also, you will find many people who will deny there is a climate change, who will say that it's just a hoax, it's just a propaganda. But what we are seeing, if you see factually, if you see what is happening in the world, so climate change is not in distinct future, it's now today's time. We can see it everywhere if you just honest enough to open your eyes and see it. And still you will find many people who are, let's say, opposed to it, or who are questioning the scientific validity of the climate change, whether it is there or not. We are already in Anthropocene, means humans have induced so much change to the earth and the atmosphere that we have changed on a scale of geological time. So that's really important. So why to care? There are two reasons I wanted to share with you. For any organization, so organizations, the way we work, the structure, the policy, the technology, the whatever you can see the work being happen in any organization, there are some reasons, there are some contributing factors to it. And for all these factors, climate change is now changing them. How? I wanted to share this two case or two examples. So first is a VUCA world. The concept of VUCA world is, you can see on the screen. So the meaning of VUCA is V is for volatile, U for uncertain, C for complex, and A for ambiguous or ambiguity. So currently the VUCA world is such that it's volatile. You don't know, it's continuously changing. It's very uncertain. You're not certain what will happen next. It's complex. Multiple things are interrelated and they are impacting and changing each other. And it's ambiguous. It's noisy. Insufficient data is there. So with this VUCA world, if you see how climate change is aggravating all these factors, right? So volatility is increasing, uncertainty, extreme weather event, you are not certain about weather patterns like rain or temperature. This is all complex. So this is directly contributing to this VUCA concept. And second is, if you apply it for the industry, for any organization, every organization at strategic level conducts a risk assessment, or we can say it as a PESTEL analysis. So PESTEL, which stands for P for political, E for economical, S for social, T for technological, E for environmental, and the sixth one L for legal. So this PESTEL analysis is done to steer the strategy of the organization, assess what are the risks, what is coming, what is changing in the environment, working environment of the organization. And if you analyze, all these 6 elements are changed by climate change. For example, if climate change is happening, it's directly impacting the environmental factors, right? So environmental policies, the risk associated with the environment that are changing, the legal, the companies now required to submit their ESG reporting. So that has been changed because of the push of climate change. And so the other factors as well. So why this is important is, when you understand climate change and how it is impacting your business and how it is impacting you as a person, then only you can contribute, then only you can find an appropriate solution to the problems. So when we talk about solution, how do we tackle these problems? There are two terms, there are two concepts which are used widely. First is climate change mitigation and second is climate change adaptation. The basic definition and the examples of mitigation and adaptation we will see now. Making the impacts of climate change less severe by preventing or reducing the emissions of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So we know that climate change is related to the greenhouse gases. So the mitigation aspect is how do we reduce the impact by preventing or reducing the greenhouse gases, and that's how we can contribute towards the solution. The examples may be increasing the share of renewable energy so that we are not dependent on fossil fuels, or establishing cleaner mobility system, again it's contributing to the lesser greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, or by enhancing the storage of these gases, that is carbon sequestration and storage. So one of the easiest way and the most eco-friendly way is forestation, right? So increase the size of forest, preserve the native forest. These are the simple things that you can do in mitigation. Now what is adaptation? After mitigation also, you have to brace yourself with the adverse impact which you couldn't completely eliminate. So in mitigation, it's not possible that in today's time where we are sitting in 2025, a quarter of this century has already passed and we are into a serious deadline to push for, let's say, sustainable development goals, which is till 2030, the net zero targets, but still there is not a favorable outcomes that we see. So what is the next way? Even you reduce these greenhouse gases, but still extreme weather events are there, climate change impacts are there. So now what you can do? You need to adapt. So adaptation means anticipating the adverse impacts, adverse effects of climate change and taking appropriate action to prevent or minimize the damage they can cause, or taking advantage of that opportunity that might arise. What can be the example? Example is diversifying crops so that they can tolerate warmer and drier or wetter conditions, ensuring infrastructure can withstand more extreme weather. So these are some of the things. So if this climate change happens, if this hurricane comes, then what we can do? So bracing ourselves for these adverse impacts is something comes under climate change adaptation. So both are important, but one question you might have is, why not focus completely on mitigation instead of adaptation so that completely we can solve this issue? Because mitigation actions will take decades to affect rising temperature. So we must adapt now to the change that is already upon us and will continue to affect us in the foreseeable future. And one of the reasons what I can say is, earlier, even 10-15 years back, the discussion of climate change was such that if we don't act now, climate change will come. Climate change will be there in the future. Extreme weather events will be there in the future. But now, if you see around, from whichever country, from whichever state you are, you just look at your state, see the extreme weather events, see the uncertainty of the rain, the weather, the water availability, and you will find that climate change is not in the future, it's today. So the time of mitigation was maybe 30-40 years back. Now we need to brace ourselves for these adverse impacts and at the same time try to reduce these greenhouse gases. So that's what mitigation and adaptation is. So why to understand this concept, if I want to recapitulate everything what we discuss in this video, is climate change is driving the changes in the business environment for the organizations. So we need to be aware what is changing these different, let's say, pestle or the VUCA world. You see that climate change is aggravating the difficulty level or the changes to all these elements. So understanding climate change, how it is impacting, is essential. Mitigation or adaptation, so where you can contribute at a policy level at a bigger level, just compared to just than a personal initiative. Let's say if you are having your CSR, corporate social responsibility, so how do you contribute towards climate change mitigation and adaptation if possible? Is it a possibility in your organization? So understanding a climate change is at critical role at sustainability, understanding sustainability and providing solutions for that. So that's why it's essential. I hope you can go ahead with the resources. I'll give you a couple of resources in this video where you can go ahead and deep dive into this. And I would request you, just don't rely on this video or just my interpretation. Go ahead, do your research. I will share some of the resources in this description as well. So please explore, and may you find your own outcomes, your own conclusions with your study. I hope this video was helpful for you. If yes, please do share your comment, your valuable feedback. That really motivates me. And do let me know what you want to cover in our next videos. And in this series of 20 videos, we will continue our next video, understanding resource conservation and why it is important in sustainability. Till then, take care, and please support this initiative by becoming a paid member. Thank you so much. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.